In Los Angeles at the 2023 SVG Esports Production Summit, Brandon Costa from Sports Video Group, thrilled to be joined by Mr. Wade Beckett. He's with ADVNCR, longtime veteran of the industry from his years at IGN. Wade, thanks so much for taking the time, and thanks so much for being here.
Oh, thank you. It was a pleasure. It was awesome. It was my first time speaking, and I've been coming the last 3 or 4 years, and it was an honor to join everybody and speak this year.
Well, being at such an iconic brand in the history of gaming and IGN, what's it been like for you being a part of this new production company, and what is it that exactly that ADVNCR does for the audience?
Yeah, we are a creative production agency. I had the good fortune of working at both G4 for many years, a long time, and then ESPN and IGN prior to going the agency route. Sure. So I got to see a lot of programming over the years, a lot of video and social content. When the chance came to open up a U.S. office, ADVNCR has offices in London and Los Angeles, but they did not have the time. I left IGN to start a LA office, and it was awesome. And then, boom, the pandemic hit. We immediately, we were only a year old as a U.S. entity and had to face the challenges like everybody else of, hey, we're going to go in a remote direction. We do a lot of different types of content. I would say that everything usually comes back to sports and video games. That's the type of content. That's our bread and butter. That's what we know at ADVNCR. We probably do, I would say, 40% of our business is esports or competitive entertainment. So it's a huge part of the agency. It's been really interesting to watch how both large agencies, small agencies, the way that the industry is coming together with ESL. FACEIT Group, obviously, huge, massive shift. We, as an agency, play nice with a lot of the big boys. They're huge. We do not have 1,500 employees, nor do we need 1,500 employees, but we still really crank out awesome creative that's focused towards fans. And when the situation arises that we do need, hey, we're gonna have a 60-player Apex. That's when we're like, hey, let's work and partner with somebody who's super huge and massive and has a tremendous amount of inventory on gear, but also has tournament operations, API engineers, and so on and so forth. Yeah, like we're excited to be part of the conversation. A lot of the stuff that we do is specific to things that are more community-based, smaller activations, big brands, but small activations, meaning it could be 2 people, 4 people, 8 people. It's not necessarily going to be the 60-player tournament where we're flying people into town. We just finished up about a month ago. We did the Summoners War America's Cup. So there's a European Cup, there's the APAC, and then this is the first year that we worked with Com2Us on Summoners War, World Arena, SWC, America's Cup, all remote from various countries in South America, Central America, the United States, Canada, semifinals, quarterfinals, all leading up to an in-person event, but it's only 8 people coming. It's much smaller. It's not a, it's not League of Legends Worlds. It's a mobile title, very passionate fan base, but a sweet spot for us because it gave us a chance to work with the size of project that we excel at.
Sure. Yeah, you mentioned the differences between the two, and here at the event, there are back-to-back sessions, one on the big events that kind of like, get the big highlight sizzle reels and the pyrotechnics and the big headlines, and then there's the smaller community-based events that make up a much larger percentage of the activity throughout the year, and like you said, are important to building the community nature of esports. What are the opportunities that you see in all of that activity that's going on that's not those big global events that maybe steal mainstream headlines every once in a while?
Well, I think a good example is what is going on with Snapdragon right now. ESL does the Snapdragon Pro Series. Awesome, beautiful, amazing, huge series. We do the Snapdragon XP Showdown. Smaller series, but it's a complementary, and it feeds into the marketing social plan to where there's content constantly coming every single week, reminding people, oh, this event is coming up. But at the end of the day, the content is just as compelling, just as fun, just as awesome. Fun games, great content, great creators, and I think that's the other area is creators. Is outside of those big events, more and more, I believe you're going to see YouTube, Twitch, and a lot of the emerging platforms have their stars put on their own events. That's one of the things that we can help with. We help bridge the gap with developers because we work with everybody. Building events around them to where they are hosting the event. It's not necessarily the publishers, but smaller, more grassroots tournaments and events that creators can own and have a sort of piece of, and everybody's got their own personality, right? And own game. It really could be any game if you have the right personality. People will watch. They have their community, and building events around those, I think, is more and more. I think it's going to become commonplace.
Wade, it's an honor to have you at this event. Thanks so much for sharing your time and your expertise. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, it was a great time. Thanks for having me.
For more of everything going on here at the 2023 SVG Esports Production Summit, you can head to our website now at sportsvideo.org.